Hello everyone and welcome to Azam Sharp School. And in this video, you're going to learn about routing in HummingBird. And we are going to build an application where you can add a movie, you can delete a movie, you can query a single movie, you can get all the movies, and it's going to be really fun. All right. Now, we're not going to be connecting to the database. We're just going to be dealing with in-memory array. Okay. All right. So over here you can see, and this is where we kind of like left off, is we have this route over here, which is called movies. And currently it's returning an array of strings. So what we want to do is we want to return an array of objects so that we can see JSON response being returned. Now my server is already running, which is great because I can make some changes, and I'm also using the package that I showed you last time, watch exec, which allows me to refresh it as soon as I save it. So I'm going to go ahead and start with creating the model for the movie. I'm going to just create it in the same file. Now, obviously, you should create like a separate file for models and all that stuff, but just to keep it simple, I'm going to just call it movie. All right. And what will movie have? Well, it can have a name and it can have a year. Now, the movie also needs to be, and an ID also. Yeah, sure. ID, because a movie will have an ID, a unique primary key, basically. We will also make sure that the movie is conforming to ResponseEncodable, decodable, equatable, so that we can send an array of movies or a single movie back to the client. So it will automatically be encoded and decoded. Now let's go ahead and create an array of movies. Now eventually you will have these things coming from the database, but we don't really have a database right now, but don't worry, we'll start with the movies. There we go. You can see we have movies as an array. And now I can go to my route, this one, and return the movies array. Great. Let's go ahead and refresh this. This is the movie route, by the way. If you look at the route, you can see it is movies route, which is going to be this route. And if I refresh it, since my server is automatically restarting, that's great, I can now see all the movies, all the hard-coded movies, in other words, right? So all the movies are being returned. That's great. Now, maybe I want another route which will give me a movie, but based on the movie ID. This means we need to pass in a parameter in our route. And the parameter, you can call this anything you want, but just to be descriptive, I'm just going to call it movie ID. And then request context. Now, if you were using Vapor, if you were using Express.js, and I would even say if you were using Flask from Python, because that's what I also use, then I would just go to the request object, and there will be a collection parameters that I can access. The parameters will allow me to access the movie ID that is being passed in the URL. Now in HummingBird, it is available, but through the use of context. So I can go over here and I can say context.parameters, as you can see, .get. And I can also say over here that what parameter I'm looking for. Well, that will be the movie ID. Oh, make sure that it is the correct one, movie ID, and it will be of type integer. And this is going to return us something. So let's put it into movie ID. Else, meaning if you're not able to return that, something bad happened, maybe you didn't even pass that, at that point, we don't really know what to do much, but we will simply say bad request. So we'll throw an error. But we still need to send in the movie, right? I mean, we want to fetch the movie and we want to return the movie. So we can probably, how about this? Movies dot, we have, which one should we use? Like the first, we can use the first. Let's see over here. First, where the ID of the movie will match the movie ID. And we can, let's go ahead and return it. Let's go ahead and build it. And once the build is done, what we can do is, I don't know if we have to, do we have to build it, or is it already the restarting the server will build it? Well, let's go ahead, and after the build is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and put like 4, and there we go. So now we can get the movie by using the movie ID. If I don't pass in the movie ID, then it triggers all movies and it will give me all the movies. What if I pass in like 12 or something? Well, it doesn't really do much if you pass in 12, 56, see that? Because those IDs doesn't really exist. Now it's up to you if you can go and check that if that ID doesn't really exist and you can do something else, that's fine. But those are the couple of different things we can do. Now, another thing that you should learn is also the post, right? I mean, how do we post? How do we create a new movie? So router.post movies. Again, we're going to get the same thing. We're going to get the request and we are going to get the context that kind of remains the same. Then we can say request, because now you're passing something in the body of the request. Probably the ID of the movie, you're probably passing the name and the year of the movie. So we need to decode that. Decode it as a movie and pass in the context. So this is going to give us some sort of a movie. Try, and this is a await function. So we need to also explain over here that async context is active. All right. I think that should be okay. We're still not really returning anything, so that's why I guess it's complaining, but let me return nothing so that, you know, the warning kind of goes away. And we can say movies, which is our array.append, and try to append the movie. Now this is going to be a problem. Why? Well, because movies is a let, so we can't really append it like that. So now if I go over here and change the movies to var, it still doesn't really like it. See that? Var movies is not concurrency safe because it is non-isolated global shared mutable state. So basically it's saying that, hey, I can't really use var also because it's not concurrency safe. Something can change over there. So if somebody is needing to change the movies or add the movies or append to the movies array, then they will need to do it in a manner that is safe. So how do we do this, right? Now, there might be some ways, a lot of different ways, but what I would do in those cases is I would start with an actor, because actor is going to make sure that when you're trying to access the properties, then those properties are handled in a nice fashion, in a concurrency safe fashion. And I'll call it movie store. Inside over here, I'll have a private movies array like this. And probably we can actually copy all of this stuff because so all of these things will be managed by movie store. All right. And movie store is an actor. So that's another important thing to note over here. So this means that we won't be able to use all of this stuff. Let's remove that. And instead of that, we will be creating an actor, or we'll be creating a movie store. Movie store equals to movie store. Now inside the movie store, we don't really want direct access to the movies. I mean, I guess you can do it if you want to, but you can say private set. or you can create some specific functions like all movies, which will simply return you a read-only copy of the movies. So I can say over here, movies. If we go back to our code, you can see there's no longer movies, so it has to be movie store.allmovies. But even if you put movie store.allmovies, it's basically still saying that, hey, you're trying to access, see that? You're trying to access all movies, and it cannot be called from outside the actor. So again, it is complaining in those cases. And the way that we can actually call out outside the actor is to make sure that it is safe by using async and await. So now we can say async and await, which means that only one person will be allowed to access it at a time, and the other thread cannot really get into that. Well, not one person, but one user, if it's trying to access it, then await the other part. Other time they're going to try to access it, or other thread, they have to kind of like wait at that time for their turn. And the same is true over here also. So anytime we're going to be accessing movies, anything like that, we will have to use async and await. So let's see over here. This one is deleting. Okay, so over here, yeah, I guess we don't really have access to the movies anymore. So what we can do is we can create a simple function, movie by ID, and you can pass in the ID, and it can return you the movie. It's going to do the same thing, meaning it's just going to return the first one. And that is something that we can use. So over here, we can say movie store.movie, passing in the movie ID. And again, this will be async event. When we're using async, we also have to use throws because we are throwing it over here. And let's see, and await. See that? So we have to do all of that stuff. Post is the same thing. We will need to create some sort of a function, a small function in our movie store that can allow us to perform post. So let's go ahead and add the small function right there. And now I can come here, movie store.add movie, which will be movie. And again, it will be await. And whatever you want to return, this will be kind of like up to you. Whatever you want to return. So what should we return? We should probably return just the movie. There we go. All right. Great. So this is how you will implement different routes. Now, as I said earlier on, right now we're implementing all of these routes over here. But if you want to better organize the things, you will have to use the MVC pattern, repositories, if you're accessing database and all that. But let's see how this even works, right? So I'm going to go ahead and open up Postman, which is one of the networking tools that you can use. Let's see where we are. Okay, let's try to access the movies. So I'm going to say get all the movies. Okay, looks like it's working. You can see all the movies are being returned. We're not really sending anything, so I'm just going to remove that part. If I send movies of 2, you can see Godfather is being returned. What about adding a new movie? So we'll say post movies. In the headers, I'm already setting this, and this is important, I'm already setting this to content type application JSON. And in the body, I will have to select different things. I have to set the ID. Now again, over here I'm sending an ID, which can be whatever, but in actual application, when you're using databases, then those IDs are usually generated by the database. And I'm going to say Finding Nemo. I'm not really sure when it was released, so I'm just going to put some random date over here. I'm just going to say 2015 or something. And let's send it. Type mismatch. Year expected to be integer. Okay, good thing that it told us that it has to be integer. And there we go. So it basically sends us the same thing back again. All right. Now, if you want to add the delete route, we can also do that. I'm just going to copy the delete route because it's going to be very similar. You're just going to use the delete function over here. You can see delete. And we're going to send in the ID. We're going to grab the movie ID and then call the delete movie function. Now, what is the delete movie function going to do? Well, let's implement it. Let's go back over here into our movie store. Delete function or delete movie. Yeah. We are sending in the movie ID, which is integer. And after delete, we can return the movie. First, we are going to get the movie by using the movie ID. That's the first step. After that, we can basically get all the movies, but not the movie, the one that you want to delete. We're just going to ignore that. All right. And that's it. That's how we're going to delete it from the array, by simply ignoring it in the filter. All right. Okay. So let's go back to over here and see what is a movie ID 5. Oh, that's a post. I should probably do a get, right? So, okay. So movie ID 5 is Forrest Gump. All right. So just remember that. And now I'm going to say delete movie. This is fine. So we are deleting Forrest Gump. Okay, it's deleted hopefully. And now let's get all the movies. Okay, looks like Forrest Gump is gone. See that? There's no Forrest Gump. Great. So this is how you can create routes when you're using HummingBird platform. And thank you so much for watching. And another thing, if you like this video, want to support my work, then check out my book, SwiftUI Architecture, Patterns and Practices for Building Scalable Application. The book is available in ebook format or as well as paperback. If you want to buy it from Amazon from paperback, you can do that. And all the chapters are available. You can see all of these different chapters. Who is this book for? Reviews from different readers. And yeah, ebook, if there is something, updated, then you will get it for free. And there's a lot of copies already sold and people are really enjoying it. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoy this particular video. Thank you.